Today we bring you the official accurate top 10 richest musicians in Nigeria 2020. We professionally answer the following questions. Who is cashing out big? Who is the richest musician in Nigeria? Who is the latest billionaire musician in Nigeria? And other related questions concerning the financials of your favorite musicians. This is because of the undeniable fact that there has been some huge amount of millions of dollars circulating the roof of the Nigerian music industry. And there must be those who are getting 80% of this pack. Those musicians getting the 80% of these funds is what actually brought us here. How we come about this data of the top 10 richest musicians in Nigeria. To get you a very satisfactory financial data about these richest Nigerian musicians, we've worked closely with Forbes and Fortune 500 and other financial data analytical companies to make sure that we don't publish or provide you with a biased and inconsistent financial data of the richest Nigerian musicians. With that said, for now we will reluctantly analyze and go with the available figures of the net worth of these wealthy Nigerian musicians. But this data and this article as a whole will be constantly edited and updated to meet up with the current financial status of the best and richest Nigerian musicians. So you can be rest assured that you are in the right place. For security purposes, we cannot reveal all the traces of our data or deep info of these Nigeria richest musicians. However, like we said above, Forbes and Fortune 500 are part of our professional sources. Although these figures are estimated, but because of our research and due diligence, you can count on them. Let's see who they are. Number 1, Davido. Davido has a net worth of $21 million, which of course makes him the richest musician in Nigeria. Number 2, Wizkid. Wizkid has a net worth of $20 million. That makes him the second richest musician in Nigeria. Number 3 is Burna Boy. Burna Boy has a net worth of $19 million, following Wizkid and Davido. Number 4 is Olamide. Olamide has a net worth of $17 million. Number 5 is Patoranking. Patoranking has a net worth of $15 million. Number 6 is Timaya. Timaya has a net worth of $12 million. Number 7 is Mr. P. Peter Okoye of the defunct P Square Group. Mr. P net worth is $10 million. Number 8 is Rude Boy Paul Okoye of the defunct P Square Group. Rude Boy has a net worth of $10 million. Number 9 is Banky W. Banky W has a net worth of $9 million. Number 10 is Fino. Fino has a net worth of $7 million. So as you can see, these are the top 10 richest Nigerian musicians. These guys are cashing out big, they're making the big bucks. In the early 90s, nobody could ever believe that Nigerian musicians could be earning anywhere from 100 million naira a year. The industry was so underrated and many musicians suffered a lot, while many retired broke. Some of them we can't even hear of again. Some out of tune went into oblivion just to hide their face. Piracy and the pirate guys, i.e. Alaba, as popularly called by Nigerian musicians, are one of the core reasons why artists could not make enough money from their craft. They are responsible for the downfall of many musicians. It got so worse to the extent that musicians are now begging Alaba to pirate their own songs just so that it could blow. But at the end of it all, they earn penny. At the end of the year, they can't account for nothing. The main survivor and heavy income stream from them was just shows. No show, no heavy cash flow in the bank. The record labels we have then was even a cohort to this dreaded menace, because they too, just like the musicians, run to Alaba for survival. It even was for them if the venture invested in the wrong musicians, because at the end they will go home with nothing, because then only musicians benefit from show money. The reason was that some labels were not wise enough to include that clause in the contract. The wiseness of labels back then was to tie musicians down with long-term contracts but a little pay. This keeps frustrating musicians, as many of them start to run away from record labels and their cunning deal. When Two-Face left Kenny's music, the media reported that it was because Kenny didn't give Two-Face a good deal, even though he was making hits and money for them. Nothing lasts forever. As Afrobeat escalates and crosses borders, so does musicians, especially the ones who took the bold step and dragged Afrobeat to the mainstream. As Afrobeat becomes successful, they too become successful and rich in the process. They start buying expensive cars and blings and jewels. They start rolling with big girls in the movie industry, like how the band got Genevieve on his hit single, Fall in Love, and everybody started talking. They started attending big shows outside Nigeria and later outside Africa. It was reported that our sound was bad and of no good compared to international standard. But as assets like the band and Asha surfaces, that stereotype changed. Oliver Twist by D'banj was a huge breakthrough for Afrobeat, as well as Asha album she did under her French record label. Two-Face too played a huge role in getting Afrobeat to the mainstream, as he started attending international shows like BET and Grammys. Also, he was heavily rewarded for the breakthrough of the legendary evergreen song African Queen. P-Square, who are now separated, were also among the few Nigerian celebrities that contributed in added value to the Nigerian music and making it an international phenomenon that it is today. P-Square, or Paul and Peter Okoye, were paid in full as they become one of the first richest musicians in Nigeria. They attained this height at a time when it was very difficult to earn a few $1 million. But also at that time, Nigerian music was already poking its head on international borders. So P-Square were one of the top or highest paid Nigerian musicians among few Nigerian musicians who primarily relies on shows, because Alaba always get the big bucks. This of course was a very pathetic story. This was also one of the reasons fans, critics and investors settled with the vague belief that Nigerian musicians can never get richer more than they were back then. This was one of the reasons Nigerian musicians were so underrated that at the end of the year, at festive period like December, instead of inviting our A-list musicians to grace the stage at big events and end of the year party, show organizers prefer to pay a huge fee to international American musicians to come over to the country and entertain us. Not that our musicians cannot do the same, but they look down on this set of musicians as amateurs. Now some of them are very rich and multi-millionaires. Things has changed for the better. Nigerian musicians is waking up from their slumbers. So now we have numerous rich Nigerian musicians. They are all doing well locally and globally. These Nigerian rich musicians gain respect and earn huge amounts of dollars, both local and international. There has been different figures in millions of dollars that has been published, all trying to estimate the net worth of these rich Nigerian musicians. But may I put it to you that these figures are only increasing. Thank you for being with me all this while. You've heard everything about the top 10 richest musicians in Nigeria. Now your turn. If you know you like this video, please kindly subscribe to this channel and do on the notification button so that you get notified when we publish next video like this. Thank you and have a good day.